So you're hanging out with your buddies one night, and one of your buddies says, hey, you know what would be an awesome idea? If someone put a V8 crate motor into a motorcycle. And then you're all like, yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be amazing. And you all agree that you would all buy one if someone were to do that. But of course, that would be stupid because you could never fit a V8 inside a motorcycle. But that did not stop a couple guys from Tennessee of bolting on 2 wheels, a swing arm, forks, and a seat onto basically a Corvette motor. The Boss Hoss.
Nations around the world still reeling from this morning's announcement, possibly the most significant event in recent history. We repeat, the super bike exists, and he is American.
This is the Boss Hoss, and it is the stupidest thing on 2 wheels that I have ever purchased, and I love it. Just like everything else that I love, it's trying to kill me. I also love it because this is American, and there is nothing more American than this bike right here. Now, just to put this bike in a little bit of a perspective for you, this is a normal, regular, large motorcycle, a Harley-Davidson Fat Boy. And then this is the Boss Hoss. It's almost like a caricature of a motorcycle. This tank is so wide that I think legally they have to consider it not a tank, but a dashboard. And they actually made this tank by taking 2 Fat Boy tanks, taking them apart and welding a giant piece, about 18 inches in the middle of it. And that's not the only piece that originated from Harley-Davidson. These front forks are wide glide forks. These controls right here, you'll recognize them also from a Harley-Davidson. The name Boss Hoss was also influenced by Harley-Davidson because originally these things were named Boss Hogs. And of course the lawyers at Harley-Davidson sued Boss Hogs, and they changed the name to Boss Hoss. The Harley-Davidson lawyers didn't even want farmers calling the pigs hogs, so legally farmers have to call their pigs Kawasaki's. Now the frame, of course, and basically every other component on this motorcycle is in fact made in America. So a normal Harley-Davidson has 2 cylinders and is just under 2,000 cc's or a 2-liter and makes around 90 horsepower. The Boss Hoss, however, has a V8 5.7 liter, and this is pretty much the same motor that you would see in a truck or a Corvette in the 1990s, and makes around 350 horsepower. The craziest thing about it is, the 350 is the more practical of the motor options because the other option is a 502 crate motor because, you know, America. Now until 2000, to keep this thing on the ground, they used a car tire. And the only other tire that has been certified to run on the back of a Boss Hoss is an Avon 230 or an Avon 300. Now almost all the engine accessories, you could probably pull out of a junkyard or go to Advanced Auto Parts or pull from any small block Chevy. You get your alternator down here, giant starter right there, and when you pop the seat off, reveals your distributor. And somewhere, there we go, right there is the intake cover. And then underneath here, a giant car battery. Right here is your reserve tank, and you actually turn that on from a switch. One of these switches on the side actually turns that reserve tank on. I'm not sure which one though. Now in '92, these things came with a chain. This one was converted to a belt, and the overall wheelbase compared to a regular Harley-Davidson is 12 inches longer, which makes sense to give that extra stability. And so maybe the front end doesn't come up because, you know, it's 350 horsepower. Now the modern day Boss Hoss is a pretty refined motorcycle with a 2-speed automatic gearbox and reverse. It's actually a pretty easy bike to drive. This is no modern day Boss Hoss. This is one of the early models, and there's a reason I've been avoiding making this video for so long. Let me show you. So because a normal transmission would never fit on this because it's a 350, you have to make the bike 3 feet longer. They use a 90-degree gearbox out of something like a bush hog, something like you would see like being towed behind a commercial tractor. And then they have a custom-made bell housing and a clutch to disengage the engine from the single-speed transmission. But it's a clutch and pressure plate from a Chevy 350 small block. So it was made for you to be used with your left foot, not with your hand. So not only is it impossible for you to use this solely with your hand, if you were able to, if you had the strength to do it, the lever would break off before it actually pushed in the clutch fork. So how did they solve this? With a vacuum boosted clutch fork. That's not only connected to your hand up here, but also is override by your heel at the bottom. It also comes with a lock down here because you have to lock it in. You have to lock the clutch to be disengaged while you're not moving, because if you try to start it with the thing off, because there's no boost going, there's no vacuum pressure going in there, you wouldn't be able to use this. You would have to put the clutch on. So what that means is after you're done running it, you have to push that down, reach down here, inches away from the exhaust, turn that, and then pop that up. And you can see that there's no way you're ever gonna pull that clutch in without this. So if you're like me, and you're used to grabbing the clutch in case something crazy happens and the vacuum booster fails, you might be in a little bit of trouble. It's even hard to push down with your foot. Now, generally, riding a motorcycle is just second nature to me. I've been riding for so long, I feel comfortable jumping on everything, but because the controls are slightly different, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. But they say you get used to it, or you die. Or, if it falls over on you, the heat from the exhaust just burns through your legs and bones. Either way, it's gonna be a lot of fun. They say these motorcycles are actually not as intimidating as they look, and that riders of any size can ride this. And that they're actually pretty light on their feet once you get them moving. I've got 3 big questions about this monstrosity of a motorcycle, and we're gonna figure them out right now. First of all, is it really that fast? All right, so here's how you fire the thing up. First of all, there's a key on the side, turn that on, you hear the fuel pump come on, have this switch over here on run, make sure that the clutch is pushed down and locked in on the lock position. Nothing to be worried about. Craig?
Yep.
This bike horrifies me. This thing idles at 35 miles an hour. Like, I'm still on the brakes and halfway out the clutch.
Sketchy.
I'm crazy slow when I start off on a turn.
I feel like there should be fireworks and American flag mankinis in this video.
I should have an American flag, American flag bikini?
Yeah.
Yeah. This thing seems to be running mildly rough. I mean, I guess it's still idling. Its idle's kind of rough. When you get on the gas, it pulls pretty well.
It looks better on the road than it does in the shop.
Does it?
Yeah.
That bike you're riding's pretty handsome looking too. Oh, and by the way, Craig will be riding my turbocharged CVO Harley Davidson Road King.
I love this thing. They're kind of starting to make me like Harleys.
I'm gonna hit it. Could you keep up?
Yeah, you pulled away from me there at first.
Were you in the right gear?
I think I was in second.
Wow.
You get on that thing and the road starts getting a little skinny.
The world starts shaking a little bit. This thing does run very well on the when you're running it, when you're actually moving it.
It balances out good.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any of that engine shimmy when you get on it? Does it want to knock you off of one side?
No, not at all. All that torque steer is just directed right into the back wheel. All right, we're gonna jump on the highway on the left. I wonder if this thing has a cam in it.
I'm sure it does.
Because it just kind of has that lopey idle, but the problem is half the time I am idling. If I'm going less than 40 miles an hour, I'm idling.
That's silly.
To do the clutch, I'm using my foot, and it's sketch. Now, obviously, street racing is very illegal and should never be done. Also, speeding is too. But every once in a while, a situation comes up that from the view of the onlookers, it appears to be a race, but is definitely 1000% not one. So I just realized I'm driving less than the speed limit, and I need to catch up to go with traffic. I'm gonna get in on it.
What's that, honey? It's time? We're having a baby? I gotta go! Did
I get you?
Yeah, you got me.
All right, let's go again. Wow, this thing's a brute.
That thing scoots.
We needed more empirical data, so we decided to take the Boss Hoss to an undisclosed track and time its 50 to 115 miles per hour time. Then we decided to compare it to the turbocharged CVO Harley Davidson. It was significantly faster than the Harley Davidson, and we didn't even take the Harley up to the actual 115, we just took it to 100. But the question is, how would it stand up against a sport bike, say a GSX S 1000, also on a closed course track? So the Boss Hoss smoked the Turbo Harley. It just tore it up, and it even beat the Suzuki 1000. But before we get to do the other challenges, we were having some problems with the Boss Hoss. All right, so Craig, it's just kind of spitting and sputtering. It's not running very well. I think it's as simple as us taking the tank off, and it's all just right there.
You have to drain the tank.
I'm assuming it's like a motorcycle carburetor, except you got four of them.
Just bigger.
There's something I needed to do that I walked out here for.
It was a clap.
I definitely walked out.
that.
You did that. Check.
I walked out here for something. This is all Craig does. He thinks he's a pedal, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, it's not running right. I think I see with my flashlight in there, something.
More grunting.
Oh, yeah.
Pull out your tiny little flashlight.
Yeah, oh yeah, makes sense, yeah. Well, nothing I can do, I'll just take it to the shop.
Take it to the Boss Hoss dealer.
Okay,
What's
cool.
the good news, Craig?
Makes me feel better. Good news
Broke
is,
the petcock?
I thought I did, but it's just not turning off all the way. It's just coming out of here. I thought it was coming out of the actual gasket down here on the bottom.
Turn it on. Is it all dumped out?
Yeah, it's all gonna dump out, and that's why I needed this.
I see you used a block of wood.
Yep.
What do you call that?
Improvising.
All right. Small block engine, big block wood.
That's right. It didn't fix itself yet.
What's the game plan here, Craig?
I'm gonna drain the gas, pull the crossover pipe, and pull the tank.
So what's the deal with it?
It's running a little, idling a little rough. I think we're down 2 cylinders on the left side.
Oh, how do you know? From the
Shot some temperatures, so they were at 200. That one's still up at 370, 370, and 200.
Oh,
so for some reason, our
two on the
outside two aren't firing.
And the ones on the other side are all 350.
Yeah, they're all about the same.
What do you think that is?
Probably a fuel issue. There's one of these 4-barrel Eberbrox on it. I don't know anything about them.
Interesting. So we need to get this thing to a Chevy man.
Yeah, sure. Black Chevy guy.
Where do I find a mechanic? I guess he doesn't have to ride it.
No.
So if it was before not running on all the cylinders, it's got some more power.
It's got some more oomph behind it on the
Got some more
highway.
power left in there. So I guess we gotta figure out some place to take it to.
Looks like you're shaking the bike. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not shaking. That's the mess.
So you're saying that shaking was because
Because of the mist.
Because of the mist.
Yeah. I think I got the right side dialed.
All right, well let's I guess we gotta get this thing fixed, and we have to wrap up this video on the next video. Comment below on your opinion on what you guys think about this Boss Hoss. I can't wait to hear it. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe and check this other video right here.